We're tracking another round of severe weather for areas of the deep south to include the possibility of isolated tornadoes and some strong gusty winds. And there's also a winter element with this storm system, as we could see some very treacherous driving for parts of the country. We'll have all this and more coming your way next. Welcome back, everybody, to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, making a difference one subscriber at a time. And before we get started, I'd like to first thank the 3,088 subscribers to this channel. And if you're new and you've not subscribed, please consider it. Just hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content, and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Boy, we're definitely in a pretty active weather pattern here for the rest of February, and we're going to be tracking this winter storm element that's going to be coming out of the plains, and it's going to be this storm system that's going to be setting off some active weather as it heads further off toward the east. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to know for this edition. All right, we're going to first talk about the severe weather element that's expected across the deep south as we go into areas going into Sunday and Monday. We'll do a model comparison. We'll first look at the European model, and then we'll compare it to the GFS model as we go out for the next 7 to 10 days. And then finally, we'll focus on the winter storm element of the storm. We'll first look at the short-range model snow totals, and then we'll take it out to the intermediate and long range as we watch the storm system progress across the country. So we have plenty to dive in for this edition and plenty for you to watch. So let's go ahead and take a look first at the severe weather elements. So first off, we're looking at the Storms Prediction Center Day 2 outlook. This is going in for your Sunday, and you can see where the target's going to be predominantly here in the southeast. We're looking at areas from Alabama back over toward Texas. That yellow area is the highest area there with that slight risk for severe weather. We have a pretty good trough that's digging down in here, and you're going to have a bit of wind shear in that area as well, as that's going to be setting off these thunderstorms as we got some warmer air down here and that cold air kind of clashing with the two air masses in this area. Let's go ahead and break it down by the categories. We'll first take a look at the tornado risk there. That area there in brown, which is going from about western portions of Alabama back over toward Texas, about a 5%, surrounded by that green area that's basically about a 2%. And then the wind threat is also going to be up with this storm system as well. You see the yellow there, that's going to be the highest area there, about 15%. You see damaging winds greater than 55 miles per hour. And then finally, we'll look at the hail element with this, a little bit smaller, but they're across portions of East Texas and predominantly into Louisiana. Now, this the storm system progresses further off toward the east, and we're going to see the severe weather element also shift to the east. So there's the Day 3 outlook, which takes up a big part of Georgia and portions of southeast Alabama and a big chunk of the Florida Panhandle as we go into Monday before the storm system begins to exit and clear off the eastern seaboard. So that's how it's looking with the severe weather component of the storm system. Let's go ahead first and take a look at the European model. So we have several elements we'll be watching as the storm system develops. First, we've got some cold air that's definitely funneling down here out of Canada that's feeding into this system. Got a little energy here coming out of the Rockies as well. That's going to be enhancing the snow. You got the developing area of low pressure down here into Texas, and of course the warm element of this across the southeast. So you got the clash of the air masses coming together as the storm system moves out of Texas and progresses across the rest of the country. Let's go ahead and zoom out of here. We're going to take you through the rest of this as we're starting here late in the day here on the Saturday, and as this storm system begins to get to moving, and notice the snow is beginning to break out in the intensity there across areas of the Texas Panhandle, stretching back into areas of New Mexico, and we start firing up some thunderstorms down here across areas of Texas as well as we progress throughout the day on Sunday. And that'll be what will set off the active weather as well throughout the day, heading into Louisiana throughout the afternoon on your Super Bowl Sunday with the snow on the backside of the system. Now, as this progresses further off toward the east, that winter weather will begin to move up toward the north. Not overly strong here on the European model with this winter weather element here, but we are looking at storms here along the Gulf Coast that could be severe weather as we go throughout the day on Monday morning. This is morning here on the 12th. So as we progress this forward, again, we're looking at active severe weather into Alabama and Georgia throughout the day on Monday as that low pressure pulls off toward the north. Again, not overly dynamic with the winter side of this storm as we go into Tuesday, but does pick up going into Tuesday night and Wednesday as it heads up into New England. You're seeing the heavier snows here start to break out across portions of Ohio, and it's kind of a thin area as well. This falling of winter weather here is in a kind of a very narrow band. I'll show you that here in a second with the snow totals here a little bit later. But again, as the storm system progresses into New England, a big chunk of New England is going to see some heavier snows here going from Massachusetts over toward Pennsylvania and wrapping behind the storm system as it progresses throughout the day on Tuesday. And by the time we get to the end of the day on Tuesday, the storm system pulls on off and things begin to quiet down, looking pretty quiet across the bulk of the nation as we head into your Wednesday. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rain element as this, as we're going to have some pretty decent rainfall with the storm system, especially across areas of the southeast. Watch as we progress this through the duration, taking you into the end of this run here through Wednesday, and you can see a lot of the purple across areas of the deep south, and even some yellows in there. So we can highlight some of these areas. I'll go ahead and freeze it right there. And you see the yellows in here. We're talking 3 to 4 inches of rain here in those yellow zones. A lot of the purple there is going to be 2 inches plus. So pretty good soaking here from, again, the mid-Atlantic down into the southeast and down toward Florida and back over toward Texas. So some pretty good heavy rains in here with this storm system. Let's go ahead and switch over to the American GFS model. We'll do this as a comparison. We'll take a look at the model here, and we'll switch over to the precipitation mode. We'll go over here, and we'll track the storm system here as well for comparison from the European to the American GFS. So here we go. As we go forward into time, we're going to stop right here. This is where we're at again. Very similar setup again. You got the colder weather coming here down to the south in that developing area of low pressure back here. So let's go ahead and step you forward through time again as we watch this low pull on out here as we go throughout the day on your Sunday. And you see that again, once again, a pretty narrow band of winter weather with this, and we're watching the active weather across the southeast here on the American GFS as we go in toward Monday. So both models are not gung-ho with the severe weather, but there's enough dynamics there that you definitely could see some isolated severe weather with the system. And again, a very narrow band on the back side of this with the winter precipitation as well. So let's go ahead and pull forward here as we go throughout the day on your Monday. The storm system and the cold front dragging across the southeast, right across the Alabama-Georgia line, and that active weather will clear the east coast. But as it gets into New England, that's when the snows will start to pick up because there's more cold air up there. And you're seeing some of the heavier snows here across areas of Pennsylvania, especially as we're going into Tuesday morning there on the 13th. So some very heavy snows across areas of New York. That purple in there is an indication of the very heavy snows there. And then it starts to exit New England as we go into the afternoon hours, and then by late in the day, that low is pulled off the eastern seaboard, and things, again, going into Wednesday morning are pretty quiet from coast to coast, at least a little bit of a break before the next storm system moves in a little bit later in the week. All right, let's also look at the rainfall totals here on the GFS. It's a little more robust with the precipitation totals as well, so let's go ahead and switch over to this. And let's step you through the rainfall totals here across the southeast. You can see, again, the purple and above is you're going to see greater than 2 inches of rainfall here. And I'm going to stop it here on Wednesday morning. So, again, you're seeing areas here across Georgia and the Carolinas, 3 to 4 inches of rain. So, looks like the GFS is a little bit heavier with the precipitation, especially areas across Georgia and the Carolinas with the storm system, with the rain threat there as we go through the Wednesday this upcoming week. So a pretty active day ahead heading into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before things begin to quiet down across the nation. All right, let's go ahead next and take a look at the snow totals. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at several models here for the winter element of this storm system. We're going to first start off by taking a look at the high resolution model, which takes us out about 48 hours. Then we'll switch over to the North American model, which goes out 84. And then finally, we'll take it out for the duration of the storm system as it exits up toward New England. And we'll take a look at the European and the GFS models. So let's go ahead and first zip myself out of here. We'll first focus in here on the first 48 hours as we go through this upcoming storm system. And you'll notice this system dumping snows across areas of Colorado and areas of New Mexico throughout the day on Saturday. Then as we go into Sunday, it'll pull out into the Texas Panhandle and into Oklahoma throughout the day on Sunday. And those are some pretty robust snows there for this 48-hour period. We're going to highlight some of these, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here a little bit closer. And you can see, again, look, I mean, upwards of 21 inches of snow there across portions of Texas, and getting into Oklahoma, 10, 11 inches of snow, 7, 8. I mean, anything there in that purple and above is going to be 6 inches and greater. So this snow is going to continue to progress off in this general direction like this. And it's going to be a fairly narrow band the way it's looking right now. So let's go ahead and clear this out. We'll go ahead and zoom back out here once again. We'll switch over to the North American model, and we'll see how this one looks in comparison with that short range model there. And we'll see how it's showing the snow is pulling out of the Rockies once again. Again, snows predominantly throughout the day on Saturday for Colorado and New Mexico. And then for Sunday, going into the 11th, you're looking at Texas and Oklahoma. And that's a pretty good, robust snow as well. So Texas looking pretty healthy with some of the snows there getting into there as well as into Oklahoma. Then as we progress through time, you see in this narrow band of snows, and there'll be some heavier impulses along the storms as well as this progresses up in New England. So this goes out 84 hours. So we're looking at this narrow band here, right through here. Let me clear that out right there. So right through there that we'll have to watch. Now, any deviation in that low track could shift that snow a little bit further north or a little further south, just depending on how it lines up with the colder air. So let's go ahead and switch over to the European model. This will take us out to the duration of the event. We'll see what it's showing here in the first 48 hours as well for a comparison. And it is also showing a pretty good burst of snow there across Texas, although the European model does not appear to be quite as much in there as compared to what we're seeing the first 48 hours there. So this snow progresses right through the same general path going across southern Missouri into Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and then exits off the Atlantic coast as we go into Wednesday morning. So we can highlight some of these areas in here. Again, pretty healthy snows, but not as much of what we're seeing with both the NAM as well as the high resolution model. But we're seeing in this track, it looks like little bursts of snow. You've seen the purple in here, kind of getting into southern Indiana, getting up north towards Cincinnati as we go into that area heading into Monday and Tuesday, and then kind of exiting off that purple, nice healthy band of snow there, getting in. It looks like it just should, even into New York City on this model, showing New York could get some pretty good decent snows, as well as heading up toward Boston and heading up through Massachusetts as it exit off the eastern seaboard. Now finally, let's go ahead and take a look at the American GFS model. We'll see how this one is showing with the snow totals as a final comparison. And we'll progress the storm throughout the day on Saturday. Again, the snows across Colorado and areas of New Mexico. And it is showing some pretty robust snows there across areas of Texas and Oklahoma as well. And a very narrow path with some very decent snow, 6 inches plus, again in that purple path as it goes up into the Northeast, into New England. And it's maybe even a little more robust with the snow totals there as it exits off the eastern seaboard as we head into Wednesday. So let's go ahead and highlight some of these. I mean, you're looking at 16, over a foot of snow across some areas of New England here. Possibility. There's up portions of New Jersey with 14 inches there, parts of Pennsylvania looking over a foot. And you see this narrow band that goes all the way back through Missouri here with could be some heavy snows just on the northern periphery of that low pressure track as it goes from Texas and stretching all the way up into areas of New England. So we'll be watching that path very closely. Again, any deviation in that track could mean you get nothing or you get something. So it's going to be something that'll have to be watched closely, kind of a nowcast type event as that storm system moves across the country and exits the East Coast as we head toward Wednesday. So it looks like we're in store for some pretty busy weather across a big chunk of the country as we head to the next several days. And I'm planning on doing some short live updates, about 10-minute segments here that I'll be watching the evolution of the storm system as it progresses from the southern plains and treks in across the country, across the southeast and the northeast as we go through the next several days. So if you would like to get alerts on that, please subscribe to my channel. Just subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I'm uploading this new content. And again, as always, just give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. I like to get your feedback as I try to evolve and grow this channel. All right, that's your update for your Saturday. You guys take it easy. I hope you enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, and hopefully it's a great team and your team wins. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Bye-bye for now.